Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna. So this will be the last, I guess maybe, well, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff here. Maybe the last or second to last video where we'll deal with the Tisra, Laya, Jati here in Pahira and just getting some more structure with this. There'll be, a lot more later. We haven't even started dealing with kirtan manchas yet, or really any dhis with this Tisra, Laya, Jati, so there's still obviously a lot to come. But yeah, just continuing to build on our fingers here and our framework. Not so much fingering, actually, mostly hand practice, but yeah, we'll continue on here. Why is my computer popping up so much stuff? Sorry about that. Okay, so Geneta, teteta. So here we've got a mix of really everything that we've been looking at here, and starting to really form kind of larger complex mantras. My goal here is mainly to present these mantras, to formulate them, to bring them into tal, to give proper structure to the wording so that everything is easy to follow. There are, hundreds and maybe even 1,000 mantras now and all this stuff that I'm working on. So I don't have a lot of time to perfect these and to be perfectly proficient in all of them. And I don't even have that much time to practice, really. Most of my time is just spent kind of producing this stuff so that I'll have a map later that I can go back to and actually have something to really study and to focus on and to start putting everything together properly in my mind as well. So you guys are just kind of seeing the process live here and hopefully benefiting from it, but I'm benefiting from the process as much as anyone else. So, I like to just teach these mantras kind of slowly, and this is not about showing off and trying to do 10 takes and, make the mantra as perfect and flashy and as fast as possible. Because no one cares about that. No one cares what I can do. All I want you guys to do is be able to have the tools to learn these and hopefully come up to, whatever standard that you want and whatever quickness you think, you can achieve and stuff like that. So, I have to put our egos aside here, and this is not about, this person can play this fast or this person can play that like this or that. That's not the point of anything that's going on here. The point is basically just to engage in bhakti, and this is a good medium by which, I can, engage with my devotional service, and hopefully other people as well can engage with that. So that's the whole kind of point here. Even if you never even learn Mridanga and just watch these and try to practice and stuff, that's still devotional service. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. There's no loss or diminution. So here we're in Laya, Jati, Tisra, and everything's in threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So Geneta, Geneta, teteta, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete, regena. So that's the structure. Genetataketa. So we're going from a genetataketa. So this movement's quite difficult. Will take a bit of time. Geneta, genetageneta. This comes from terege. Getting this flow of the ta to the te, tereketa, tereketa, right? So now you genetatereta. So that helps. The tereketa helps this if you're having problems with it. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, genete, regena. First part. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, genete. So we'll just cycle through that. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete. Genetataketa, genete, regena. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete. your hand to be nice and kind of fluid. And, the more that you play, like I just played a little bit of warm up and I was super stiff. Everything hurt. My deltoid hurt. My wrist hurt. So you have to sometimes work through that. And just like anything else, you work up, like go to the gym and power lift and stuff like that. You don't just step under the bar and squat, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 200 pounds. Like you squat, with just the bar, 45 pounds, or even just body weight. And you slowly build up. And maybe half an hour later, you're kind of squatting your max amount and stuff like that and feeling good. So same with the mridanga. I don't recommend just jumping into playing super hard. You can even injure yourself. Like the number one thing I really don't like is when, the kirtan's going really fast and people are like getting really aggressive and, people are burning out and getting tired. And then someone else just picks the mridanga cold and just starts pounding on it as hard as they can. And not only is this just completely rajagoon, but you can really injure yourself as well because your body is not warmed up. Like I hate stepping into a kirtan in the middle of it because I'm not in the mood. I'm not warmed up. My hands haven't been playing, slowly and just getting into the flow of things. So it's really nice, just like anything else, to take this as any type of other exercise as well, materially speaking. Slowly warm up, get your body kind of acclimated to everything. And if you're in pain, like don't play through it. You're going to get tendonitis, you're going to hurt your fingers and stuff like that. Just take it easy, So the first part, Geneta, teteta, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete, regena. Second part, Genete, genete, geneta, genete, regeta, taketaketa. This is more complicated. So genete, regena. Then we have terege, nagetak for 3, right? Terege, nagetak. Usually we have tereketa, geneta for 4, right? Now we're just using the 6th part. So now you just have terege, nagetak. And it's spoken differently, right? Terege, nagetak, right? Terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So you can just use that as a kirtan. There's so many different things, but you have to get that phrasing right. Terege, terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak, terege, nagetak. So genete, regena, terege, nagetak, terege, teregenatak, genete regena, teregenagetak, genete regenatak, tereketa. Yeah, so genete regena, teregenagetak, genete regenatak, tereketa. That tuck strong, space, tak, tereketa, tak, tereketa. Tereketa's 4, but we're spreading it across, so you're breaking the jatis here. So normally you would have a bold jati of tereketa. But because we've taken tereketa as a bold jati and put it into a Laya jati of Tisra, we're now breaking it up so that it's spread across the 2 matras. Taketaketa, taketaketa, right? So very interesting how you can use the spoken language of mridanga and manipulate it depending on your bowl or Laya jati, and then form so many different feels and mantras based on that, and blending it into the tall structures as well and dihas. Very interesting concept. It'd be interesting if you could use this concept even in people do use this concept in spoken language. So if you listen to a lot of rap these days, maybe some of you do, I don't know, I still do. But so if you're listening to rap, it's spoken words and it's in meter just as we're speaking on the mridanga. So they'll have their structure is usually in das Pahira 4/4 time, and they're going dagi teteta kadena dagi as they're speaking. But then you'll see a lot of rappers, they'll move into exactly what we're doing here. Laya, Jati, Tisra, like the Migos and, a lot of trap rappers and stuff like that. All they do is speak in threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. So they break spoken language up the same way that we're breaking spoken language up here into Tisra, Laya, Jatis, and they do all the same stuff, but they're not necessarily even aware of it. It's just natural to them. They won't have even a lot of musical theory behind it. So this is not a principle just specific to Mridanga or anything like that. It's used everywhere. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete, regena, genete, regena, terege, geneta, geneta. So that's the whole thing. So let's chant to it slowly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Now starting again. I'll just play the guru. Krishna, Krishna. So that's how you use it. No need to go fast here. We're just trying to learn the mantras. So once more, just to get this, Genetataketa, Genetataketa, genete, regena, genetageneta, genete, regena, genete, genetageneta. Second part. Genetataketa, kenete, reketa, keneta, keneta, kenete, reketa, kenete, reketa, tereketa. Right? So now same thing, just on the lagu. Genetataketa, genetataketa, kenete, reketa, keneta, keneta, kenete, reketa, kenete, reketa, tereketa, tereketa, tereketa. Pardon me. Teretataketa, teretataketa, kenete, reketa. So we'll chant with this, and then we'll play the whole thing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, So one point here as I was playing it, I wanted to mention, so the Genetataketa, as you get better, it's nice to Hare Krishna, that te, Genetataketa. If you can get onto that te and really slap it, it just adds a really nice emphasis to the mantra. Not always necessary, but also good as a practice to really make sure you're getting that wrist rotated and through onto the te. Genetataketa, 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 Genetataketa. You want to make sure you're able to have enough power to really emphasize the te. You don't always have to, but it's a good practice. You can just practice that like that as well. So, the whole mantra now. Genetataketa, genete, regena, geneta, geneta, genete, regena, genete, regena, teregenaketa, genete, regena, taketaketa, geneta, teteta, reketa, keneta, keneta, kenete, reketa, kenete, reketa, tenekena, keneta, kenete, reketa, geneta, teteta, genete, regena, geneta, 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 regena, geneta, regena, Yeah, so I want to speed up and kind of get into these mantras and stuff and close my eyes, but I'm trying to keep a steady pace for you guys, and then sometimes when you think too much, you forget what you're doing, So once more, I'll just chant with the whole thing now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So I mean, the funny thing is, I just don't understand why the kirtans have to become so rajasic all the time and constantly speeding up and constantly more aggressive. I mean, there's a time and a place, but it only needs to happen when you're feeling that ecstasy, when you really enthusiastically are going for it. Kirtan and mridanga playing should not be a monotonous process of running through the same thing over and over. Maybe a kirtan never speeds up. Maybe it never gets loud. Maybe you only play a certain set of mantras for the whole time and just vibe out to it. There shouldn't be, just like with anything in life, there shouldn't be too much structure to things, because bhakti is about progressing into raganuga bhakti, into spontaneous love, spontaneity, doing things out of the blue, doing things always differently. Radharani constantly cooking different preps in different ways every time, rather than just a recipe and formulaically doing the same thing. And yes, you're experiencing a certain amount of bliss each time, but you have to change things in order to possibly achieve more bliss. And that's what we're always going for, because Krishna consciousness, Krishna and his spiritual energy is capable of producing endless amounts of transcendental bliss. Unlimited. No words can possibly describe how much bliss is, to be had. No words are enough for even Ananta Shesh to discuss the glories of Krishna and his pastimes. They're unlimited. We can't fathom what that means, because we're so locked into a material body, into a material mind. So that, ISKCON is a framework for Vaidhi Bhakti, for rules, for regulations, for A, B, C, D. Do this every day the same way religiously, and you will force yourself into a pattern of goodness, not transcendental goodness necessarily, but at least a state of goodness, coming more to a Brahminical quality of life, even if it's forced and even if you don't really like it. So we've applied that to our kirtan, and we've continued to just do the same things the same way, not learning, not really progressing, and having too much rajas involved, because rajagun, diminishes your ability to connect with what's going on around you. Raja is pushing like a train forward, pushing you. And you're not able to have a look around and see what's really required of the situation. So that, these mantras are so beautiful. You can sit there and play Geneta, teteta, genete. It doesn't have to speed up within a minute so that the mantra is no longer applicable and you have to switch to something more basic so that you can go really fast. We want to just be able to express these mantras for as long as we need, and not feel this passionate desire to impress, to go faster, to show the girls how quick my hands are, to make the crowd dance, to have people come and take books from us, to do all these things. We are not the doers. We're not capable of doing anything. The more that we focus on the chanting of the holy name and support it professionally and properly with educated knowledge of the practice behind it, then Krishna becomes happy. And when Krishna becomes happy, then all of those other things happen. You see, you are not doing it. All you're doing is pleasing Krishna, and he's transcendentally able to influence the situation the way that he prefers, not how you prefer. The people aren't dancing because of you. They're dancing because within the heart, the Paramatma is able to inspire. You see the difference? The Paramatma is actually the transcendental energy that's uplifting them. When I'm chanting and I feel more bliss and happier, the Paramatma within me is evoking that bliss, which then gives me more power to chant, which then spreads that name out, which is Krishna. The true form of Krishna is non-different from his name. And the more he's manifesting, then other people might be able to awaken their Paramatma and have a little bit of that transcendental bliss, or be noticeable of Krishna being within their presence at that moment, because the holy name is presenting itself to them, whereas their heart is so closed off, they can't necessarily experience Krishna. So all of this, what we're doing, the mantras, the mridanga, the present, consciousness that we're having during kirtan, brings that holy name into the forefront, so people can say, like, Krishna is here, we're seeing him, he is existing. And the more that you're able to bring that, the more that everyone's ecstasies will increase, because Krishna's ecstasy is increasing. Why? Because we are turning our faces towards him. So that is the true process of kirtan. And when you kind of muddy it up with all of these other egotistical tendencies, and also a regimen of, I'm going to produce a kirtan in this way with these people and my players and these mantras, and it's gonna be amazing, and and everyone's just cheating themselves, so anyways, the point of that is, take these mantras and relish each and every one of them, and don't play past your capacity, and don't try to push the kirtans too quickly, because there's thousands and thousands of these mantras, and like, so many are applicable at slower speeds. We don't need to get into this super fast stuff all the time. It's great, it has its purpose, but there's so much stuff. Like, let's open it up a little bit, So we've got that. Next, genagena. So this is another interesting. So now we're going genagena, right? We learned this before. Genetataketa, right? Genetataketa. Different technique. Now we're just using the genetataketa, but it goes genagena, right? Because we have to phrase it properly now. Genagena, genetaketa, genetageneta, genete. I love this mantra, actually, because it's just very cool. It's almost the same thing throughout, but we're putting this thumb part at the start. Then we just have the standard genetataketa. Then we have genetataketa again, but because we change the ta to a tak, it totally changes the feel of the mantra and feels very beautiful. And then you have another genetageneta at the end, but the whole thing just sounds ecstatic because of the way that you've got the genete again at the start, and the genetageneta at the third position there, right? So we've got genetaketa, right? Genetaketa, genetaketa. Remember the K? We're not going genetaketa here. Genetaketa, 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 genetaketa. Beautiful. Genetaketa. I threw a gay in there. So you can play these all gays as well if you like, different technique. We're writing it Genetataketa. There's strong arguments for switching that to genetagenas as well if you want, and then having the gur and the lagu pure, or you can mix them. Really up to you, up to your preference. Again, like, it's not Vaidhi Bhakti. Make your own decisions when you're playing what you want to do, Beautiful. genagere gena. Genagere gena genetaketa genetaketa genetaketa. This actually is throwing me off a little bit because I normally just play a pure guru, but I want to show it like this because it's a little bit more advanced, but don't really have my hands around it at the moment. Genagere gena genetaketa 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 gena. Yeah, genagere gena genetaketa genetaketa. So slowly gena gere gena gena tereketa gena tereketa gena tereketa gena kereketa gena tereketa gena tereketa. Even slower. Gena gere gena gena tereketa gena tereketa gena tere gena kereketa gena tereketa gena tereketa gena tereketa. Gena gena gena. I love this. Gena 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 tereketa gena tereketa gena tereketa gena kereketa right? Gena gena gena. So how do we chant with this? Hare Krishna, Hare just like that, and you can play it faster and speed it up as well. It is actually quite an easy mantra to play more quickly as well, if you like. So the next one, quite difficult, this one, even after many, many years of knowing it, practicing it, and stuff like that. It is pretty difficult to maintain as a mantra, a lot of hand practice. And I know people that have definitely learned this from Bablu, but not many people have ever been able to implement it because they haven't really understood the structure. So this really bends the rules of tereketas and stuff like that, and forms beautiful Laya, Tisra, Jatis out of things that we're normally playing in Laya Jatis of Chatur. And it is just really, really genius, but does take a little bit to grasp. So I really want to present this nicely so that you can understand it. So this is Genetataketa. So we're going, before we're going Genetataketa or Genetageneta, genete, regena. So now we're going Genetataketa. So we're combining those two tisras. Genetataketa, Genetataketa. Then genetageneta, genetataketa. So we've kind of learned this pattern, but it's being presented in a different way. So now we're going genetataketa, genetataketa, genetageneta, genetataketa. Right? So we've got that. Once again, genetataketa, genetataketa, genetageneta, genetataketa. That's the first four mantras. Then we have genetageneta, takadhenaketa. Very interesting pattern here that no one has really grasped because Bablu has not presented it to people written in tall, and unless you're kind of on a genius level, it's very difficult to kind of understand where he's coming from in the way that this is broken down. So we have Genetaka, right? Genetaka, Genetaka, but the taka is always a guru in this if you're in your guru. Genetaka, Genetaka, genetageneta. Genetaka, genetageneta. So let's go through this slowly. Genetaka, gena, takadhenaketa. Even I was getting confused playing it slowly for you. I usually just play it quick, but So genetaka for 3, right? Genetak. So you're starting with this. It forms a weak and then a strong. Genetaka is weak because you're starting with the thumb. Geneta, and the ta is always less strong in this case. So genetaka, and then genetageneta. So basically that's your 6 there. Genetageneta. Second part. Takadhenaketa. Wait, yeah. Takadhenaketa. Yeah. Genetataketa, genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetageneta, takadhenaketa. So let's look at this again. Genetageneta, takadhenaketa. That day is closed. Dena. Genetageneta, takadhenaketa. Let me just check that. Genetataketa. Yeah, Genetataketa. Oh, I'm playing the next one, yeah. Genetataketa. I was playing the next part, yeah. Genetataketa. Okay. So, Genetataketa, Genetataketa, genetageneta, genetataketa, genetageneta, genetageneta. See that? Genetageneta. So the second part is genetakagena, takadhenaketa. Genetageneta, takadhenaketa. Right? Genetageneta, takadhenaketa. Takadhenaketa, takadhenaketa, takadhenaketa. All of these can be used as kirtan mantras later. Then the last part is genetataketa. This was I was playing before, yeah. Genetataketa, and then genetataketa, taka, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. So the taka is open here. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Okay, so even teaching it there was kind of mind bending just slowly because you're used to just playing these and just grasping everything here. So let's go through it really nicely now. So Genetataketa, Genetataketa, Geneta, Geneta, Genetataketa, Genetakagena, Takadhena, Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Sometimes I like to switch it and play that as a tak and then a dataketa. Depends on how you like it. So it's nice like that as well. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhataketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Let me. Genetataketa, Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, takadhataketa. So you can switch it up as well. I think of it all this random stuff, but that can be a Genetataketa, takadhataketa, right? Taka. So Genetataketa, Genetataketa, Genetageneta, Genetataketa, Genetakagena, takadhenaketa, Genetataketa, takadhenaketa. Genetataketa, Genetataketa, genetageneta, genetataketa, genetakagena, takadhenaketa, genetataketa, takadhenaketa. How do we chant to this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, set up here. Hare So that's how it's kind of played. Genetataketa, genetataketa, geneta. So like that, I like to play it nice and slow too. So then it's, if it's, I like it when the mantra's kind of extended out and, it's just a really nice drawn out mantra there, kind of at a medium speed for people. So next part, tereta. So this is the lagu now, a little different. We're not going Genetataketa. Now we're going Teretataketa. I don't know why my redundant bass is pissing me off today. Teretataketa, teretataketa, teretataketa. That's the first part, right? Go ahead. Genetataketa, genetataketa, geneta, geneta, genetataketa. Now we have teretataketa, teretataketa, teretatereta, teretataketa. Teretataketa, teretataketa, teretatereta, teretataketa. So that's simple enough. Teretataketa, right? Teretataketa. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Teretataketa. Teretataketa. Beautiful. I mean, you can just sit there and play this for a while. Whatever. There's no rules to kirtan for this. There's so many. I shouldn't say it. There's so many rules to kirtan, but they're only meant as inspiration for what you do with those rules. But without learning them, then you're performing something uninformed. You have to inform yourself first in order to progress. You always learn the basics of something before you can create. You can't create a computer without understanding all of the basics of wiring and network patterns and coding. But then no one will know what you're going to make with that knowledge later. That's the thing. You take all of the basics, what we're giving, and you make something with it. So teretataketa, teretataketa, teretataketa. Now the same breakup but differently. Teretataketa. So how is that working? Teretaka. Where are we? Teretaka. Here we go. Teretaka, teretaka, tereketa. So teretaka 4. Teretaka 4. Tereketa. So you're just breaking up tereketa 3 times, but spreading it so it fits a Laya Jati of Tisra there, and you have 12, right? Teretaka, teretaka, tereketa. 4, 4, and 4. If you're in Pahira, it'll just be tereketa, 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 right? Or teretaka, 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 teretaka. But, it's the same as tereketa. Wait. Teretaka. Oh yeah, I guess we went in the reverse here, so I didn't even think about that. But same thing, so teretaka, tereketa. So yeah, so this is a different thing too that we haven't actually touched on. So now we have this teretaka instead of tereketa, right? Tereketa, teretaka. So now you're reversing tereketa in that sense as well to teretaka. I didn't even really realize that, but so teretaka, teretaka, tereketa, teretataketa, takatere. Yeah, teretataketa, takatereketa. So teretataketa, teretataketa, teretatereta, teretataketa, teretaka, teretaka, tereketa. And somehow my writing got messed up here. Teretataketa, takatereketa. I'm missing the. That's not supposed to be okay. There we go. So teretataketa, teretataketa, teretatereta, teretataketa. Takatere, takatereketa, teretataketa, takatereketa, teretataketa. So teretataketa, teretataketa, teretatereta, teretataketa, teretaketere, takatereketa, teretataketa, takatereketa. Last part. Teretataketa, takatereketa. Krishna Krishna. Oh, that's kind of weird to just play on its own. But so anyway, so here's the whole mantra. So Genetataketa, Genetataketa, Geneta, 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 once more. There we go. It's tough doing these videos. I get confused with all this stuff, but this one's really tough to teach just because there's so many different bowls and stuff like that. And it is hard to teach slowly. So hopefully you guys can work through that. Then we've just got two other mantras here. So now we're going back to the Daguru, Dagurugur, Dagur. So Dagurugur, Tisra, Jati 3, Dagur, we've already gone over this, Dagena, Dagur, Dagur, Hare Krishna, Hare Dagur. So Dagur, 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 Dagur. Yeah. It's a little different than how we would normally play it, but I'm just giving different variations here. So Dagur, 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 Dagur. Hare Krishna. And you can play the lagu as well. Right? Now you can play that different ways. You can play it with just on the ta. So here you're going dagu, 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 dagu. Alright? Dagu to the bottom. But on the top end you can just play tagu, 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 tagu. Or sorry, tagu, tagu. Takena, 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 right? Tagu, takena. But you can also, so instead of tas, you can change some alt to kas as well. Right? only change that because you need the at the end. So I would only change it to ka kuruker, and then so the da guduger, dagger, da guduger, dagger, all those can be ka, and then the last ones, so it sounds like this. Da guduger, dagger, da guduger, dagger, da guduger, dagger. Or ta guduger, dagger, da guduger, dagger. So either one of those, I'll write those out so you can see them. The second version is da guduger, dagger, 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 or da guduger, dagger, or da guduger, dagger, right? That's different from ta guduger, where you're just on the ta there instead of the ka. So I'll write those out for you. So here we'll be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. So that's in your Tisra Jati. The two together. Hare Rama, and then so you can put these together, right? So then you can go Guru and Lagu. So Hare Rama, that's kind of mind-bending, but I just made that up there. So I'll write that out as well. But yeah, lots of good ideas there. Sorry it's not all perfectly given, but normally if you're teaching someone, you would just work on one of these mantras and it would take, a month just for them to kind of grasp it, and you'd go through each part perfectly and stuff like that. But yeah. So anyways, there's some inspiration for you, and I'll write everything out, and yeah, go Ranga.